being in London, I kind of want to like fixate on being in London because I don't know about you, but it's taken me a long time to actually like London or become familiar with it, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially, well, I kind of had that stepping stone of moving from Oxford, which is quite small population, quite a kind of community atmosphere, especially Black Belize, everyone knows everyone. Moving to Bristol, which is a bit bigger, but still has like a sense of community, to London, which is, in the first 2 years, I hardly saw the same face twice. Everyone's on something, everyone's fast paced and everyone's moving quickly, everything's expensive. Now I'm fully like used to it, and I go back to Oxford, I even go back to Bristol and get impatient. I go up lifts and people are standing on the left hand side on escalators, and it really annoys me.
Literally, it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
London.
How long did it take you to get familiar with the London way?
Till after uni, and then to be honest, it was probably when after I went to uni and when I started hanging around with like Sky, Nadine, Kaysang, because Kaysang was one of my best friends from Oxford.
Yeah.
And she kind of brought me into that group of girls, and like that was probably the first time that I'd really experienced London, to be honest, because my experience of London was like going to the West End, like going clubbing in the West End, all that sort of stuff. That's not London, or like that's not what people from London do. So yeah, and I still don't love London. I don't think I ever will love London, in all honesty.
Really?
I don't want to stay here.
I mean, I don't want to stay here, but that's for the sake of my kids, not for me.
I mean, I don't
have kids yet, but but that's just my thinking. If I wanted to be like fatherless my whole life, I could see myself staying in London.
No, I don't like it here. It's the attitude and right. So my experience of London is when I first moved here, did all the uni shit and like had friends and went out in Central, did all that blah blah. Then I started meeting people from London, and like you have to give it to them because they are given from a young age. I feel like they are told they need to be ambitious to be able in London. Like, even it doesn't matter what field you're doing, whether it's being a drug dealer, whether it's being in music, whether it's doing, they have like you have to be ambitious, right? They've got a hunger behind them that we don't have in Oxford, right?
I hear that. Yeah.
So I think when you meet people initially, it's always what you can do for them. It's not about building a friendship, right? And I found a lot of the times I found it very hard because I'm quite like an open-hearted person, and I really like invest myself and my like whole soul into like my friendships. So I would count people as being my friends when actually it was like an exchange. A constant exchange,
like a
of
colleague.
Like like, whereas like for me it was like, oh, this person's my friend, and which I've become really careful about using that word now when I describe people, because it's like I have a lot of acquaintances in London. A lot of acquaintances. I could probably go to any night out and like enjoy myself with the people that are there. But how many people there are actually my friends?
Interesting.
I can't really tell you. So, and that's something I've learned, and like in bad situations and in good situations, is like how much, because I've met some really amazing people here, like who I can work with, and also I can call them my friends. But a lot of the people who I thought were my friends are not. It was just like what we can do for each other, which is such a weird thing to learn, because I think in Oxford we're very genuine when it comes to what you want out of a situation. Like,
definitely.
You don't have to think about, like, I always have to think about stuff when certain people I meet. I'd have to be really think about the situation and what we're doing and what we're saying. Whereas when I go back to Oxford, I feel so free. I don't know, I do feel very like like
it's so interesting you say that. I was in Oxford over the weekend, just gone, and I felt again kind of different to everyone, but in like a sort of positive way. I felt like a weird sense of freedom, a sense of like I can do what I want, and if anyone says I'm different, I can be like, well, I've lived in London. And this, it was like, it's kind of like a weird holiday.
It really
going back
is.
to Oxford.
Like it's like a bit of a peaceful break, isn't it? Sometimes. But I don't know. I think as though it's like also the scene that I engaged with within London, because it was a lot of like the like clouty, like popular people who probably they didn't necessarily need to be friends with you. I don't know, because I feel like people's experience of London is very different from mine. Mine's naturally it's been quite negative, other than my work relations. I feel like when it comes to my like personal situations, generally is quite negative. Like, I don't necessarily engage with a lot of people from London anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna stay away from you guys.
I think, yeah, it's funny because I fully see what you're saying, and it's difficult because even like I'm trying to be a DJ and all of that stuff, so even I find myself latching onto people, and without realising I'm being nice to them, then subconsciously it's because, you know, I want you to, I don't know, book me for your night, or, you know, do this collaboration. And it's something that there's that alongside a lot of other things about being in London that I've adopted that I'm not entirely proud of, almost.
Yeah, like that's such it's such a normal thing though. That's the problem, is like that is like it's not seen as a negative, whereas I can see that as being a negative within myself.
I see, yeah.
Does that make any sense? Like
yeah.
that the way that people engage with each other here is like such a transaction, whereas like I know for a fact that doesn't do well for me and how I feel about stuff, because that's just not the sort of person I am. But I can completely understand why people are like that. It's almost not a negative, because so many people I know, literally from when we started, I don't know, when I started engaging with these people to like where they are now, they are literally like really up in their careers, and it's because they have that mentality. Which is kind of amazing, because it's like, I don't know, I always think of it like,
it is really interesting talking about this, because I don't think I'm very good at doing it, although I'm like trying to adopt it almost. Maybe because similar to you, it's not in me to do it. It's not the Oxford in me doesn't allow me to clout chase like that.
Yeah.
But equally, I get somewhat envious, somewhat bitter with the people around me who are good at doing that. I've always seen that. I use the term like I'm not business savvy, and I feel like some of the London mentality is kind of business savvy.
It's so business savvy. Like, it's, and also like shameless with it. Like, that's the thing. It's which makes it so much more okay, because if someone was doing it secretively and they were really stringing you along in those sort of senses, then I'd be like, do you know what, you're not a nice person. But because they're so upfront with it, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, so like, actually this is what I want, da 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 da, what can you do for me? Like, people WhatsApp me still to this day, like, not even a hello, like, Bems, what are you doing? Like, I've got this project that I need to work on. Can you help me with this? Da, da, da. Like, and I'm like, do you know what? I rate that, because I couldn't do that. I still am not that person that could just be like, do you know what? I need you to do this thing for me. Can you do it? Like, it makes me actually if I have to send a message like that, I'm like, like, I get anxiety about it.
Can I ask, how do you feel about, say, hypothetically, you're in a room and there's a celebrity there. How do you feel about whipping out your phone, doing a little, I don't know, Instagram story to catch that celebrity in? You haven't asked for their permission. Can I get you in my story? But you do anyway. What do you think about that?
I don't do it.
I can't do it, man. No. I can't, I don't. But like, again, that's something that I've noticed a lot of people around me do so casually. People have done it with me. I mean, I don't have any clout, but there's been people like being like, "Yeah, man, I'm with Silas," and just put me in the story, and I'm like, "Whoa, you didn't ask my permission." Like, I don't even know you like that, but you just want people to see that you're with. That's like something it's quite a new thing. That's quite a 21st century thing.
It really is. Oh, social media's gonna destroy us all. It's weird. People shouldn't do that.
I guess the reason why I'm asking you in particular is because I know you're in the fashion world, and I see that a lot more within the fashion world. Yeah.
Also, you know, I work with a lot of celebrities often, and if I was like that as a person, I wouldn't have a job. I always think about it as a professional setting.
Same.
You can't do that, because it just takes that one person to be like, that's not okay, and you don't work again. And
you're meeting a talent in a professional environment where they're supposed to feel safe and away from like fans and...
But there's certain people that... Oh, actually, no. Right, so for instance, I've got someone that I work with all the time, Suspect, who is like I call that bro. That's like my bro, but he's
Suspect,
like
the MC.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, comes around my house, like, we're like, that's like, he's like, he calls me a sis, like,
nice.
Do you know what I mean? So when we're together, it's like, bants, like, we'll put each other on our stories and stuff like that, because we've got that sort of friendship. Whereas like, no one goes on my story unless we're like connected and we're friends. You on my story. I think it's weird. I think that's weird.
I hear that.
Someone put up a post the other day of like, they were in the room with Beyonce. They were literally just in a room with Beyonce, and it was quite funny because she put as caption, "I've just had dinner with Beyonce," but she was taking the piss out of people that do that. Like, it was like, oh, like, I've just met this person, but she was like, I was literally in a room with them, but like, I've just had dinner with Beyonce, don't tell me anything. Like, cause it's like, that's what people like. Everyone's like so on the clout, aren't they?
But I mean, how much do you take the piss before? people perceive you as being genuine.
Mm.
Because I find myself doing that as well, like
Yeah.
trying to take the piss, but then there's a lot of people who don't know me well enough to know that I'm taking the piss.
That's very true. I'm very much like that. I've got a very sarky attitude, and
Yeah.
people always think I'm really rude before they meet me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you're just taking the piss out of everything, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I think it's quite interesting. I haven't actually acknowledged this until this conversation here, that maybe the reason why I'm not business savvy or clout chasey is because of the Oxford instinct in me.
Mm.
And like you mentioned earlier, like people who are like maybe born and raised in London or other like bigger cities are born with that, or like told constantly growing up that you need to be ambitious if you're going to do this, you need to like really do it.
Mm.
We didn't really have that in Oxford.
We don't, and it's weird because I'm not going to say people in Oxford aren't ambitious. It's that ambitious, like it's ambitious in different things.
Mhm.
I think like you're told in London from a young age, and I've seen it and like witnessed it with my friends that are from here. It's just like, you know, especially with people of colour from here, they're
Mhm.
told from a very young age, like to be able to get out of like these situations that we're in. Like
Mhm.
I guess their council estate stuff. That stuff's scary, right?
Yeah, fully.
So to be told, they're told like you just whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna have to really succeed in, right? Whereas
Mhm.
my mum was I remember like my mum, she's so lovely, but she was so like, you can do what you want. Like, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it was never like, you need to do this, you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to get good grades, you need to. She was just like, just do what makes you happy.
Same with my dad.
Yeah,
And
do
my
you,
mum, yeah.
do you know what I mean? So, and I think quite a lot of people from Oxford have probably got parents that are like that. Just like, they're just quite a lot more calmer.
Just
for
relaxed,
life.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this relaxed attitude that's like, oh, you can literally, and that's why so many people from Oxford stay in Oxford, and
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
developed their lives in Oxford, and they're doing what they do. Whereas we're like moved here, we're in these high pressures, anxiety-ridden
Yeah, yeah.
situations, and we're like,
I feel like adulthood delays here.
oh, massively.
Definitely.
Massively. Like, half the people that I went to school with have kids.
Yeah.
They've got houses. They're settled
yeah.
down. They're like
Absolutely.
literally, and even the ones this comes from the ones that are from Belize to the ones that live in like Summertown. Like,
Yeah.
they've all done the same thing. What level they're at in their
Mhm.
lives, they've all done the same thing. Settled.
Yeah.
Like into their lives. Whereas like we're like, people always ask me when I go back home, oh, when are you gonna have kids? I'm like, I haven't even got a bloody boyfriend. They're like,
Yeah.
having a kid. Like we think about trying to buy a house here. You're like,
That's mental.
I need £500,000 just to
Yeah.
get a one-bedroom flat here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you think I'm going to be bringing a kid into this world anytime soon?
Exactly, yeah.
It's weird.
Mm.
Adulthood is definitely delayed over here, isn't it?
Another like funny little anecdote. So the other day, I took my dad to a gig in Brixton. So he came down. I live in Bethnal Green at the moment. He came to my house. Everything was cool. I said, "Oh yeah, we're going to get the tube there. It's pretty quick." I completely took for granted that my dad hasn't been on a tube in 20 years maybe.
Yeah.
So I got him on the tube, and it's about 7 in the evening on a Friday night.
Oh no.
So it's really, really busy. And you know, my dad, he's cool, he's like comfortable, but I completely took for granted that he's not familiar with seeing that many people on public transport at any given time. So he actually looked like a little bit anxious. And even like walking through Brixton on a Friday night, it's far more busier than any street in Oxford is. And I just, in that moment, I suddenly realised, one, that I'm familiar with this, and two, how unfamiliar it is to the average Oxonian.
Oh, it's weird, isn't it?
Mm.
Like, when I have friends that come up to visit me, there's certain ones that I'm like, oh, I can leave you to make your way to my house, but there's quite a lot of them, like a lot of them from Oxford, that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to meet you from Victoria.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I know for a
exactly.
fact you will not get to my house. You're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so confused, or they're just getting Uber because they're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
so true.
it is so fast paced here, and it's funny, isn't it? Because my mum, she came up, and my mum can only do like 2 tube journeys. Bearing in mind, she like pretty much grew up in London. She went to uni here and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But she can do from like my house
Mm-hmm.
to like Victoria, and like from Victoria to like somewhere up north, and that's it. One
Yeah.
tube journey, that's all she can do. So the other day we were like, I did this talk at Harvey Nichols, so had to go to Harvey Nichols, and then we went up to like Seven Sisters and got multiple tubes, and she was just like, this is
Yeah.
horrendous.
This
She's
is
like, how
mental.
do you remember all this? Like,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
know what direction you're going in? She was walking slow. I was like, Mum, walk faster.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we've got to get to the back of the tube because this is this exit and this will get.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, what in the world is this mad race?
It's such worlds apart. Even like I travel to work and it's a 10-kilometre journey. It doesn't take me that long. To me, 10 kilometres, that's a nice commute to work in London. I just clocked, like, when I was younger, my house to school, which felt like really long, was 3 kilometres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not even that much.
Mate, my commute. I remember my commute
You
from
went to
here.
Charwell, to be fair.
I used to ride to Charwell every day from Blackbelize to Charwell.
No wonder why you were a good runner. You
Well,
had
no,
all that like
yeah,
leg power
that
from
was
cycling.
it. Was mad. It was like I used to cycle. I felt like it was like a really long cycle as well. I used to do that every morning. It was hell.
Wow.
But yeah, so my commutes now are like so quick because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
remember how? Or even when I got the bus, it was like 2 buses.
Yeah,
Long ass journey. So yeah, I'm used to kind of like a long commute. But then when I used to go to Piers, then I just walked to school,
Of course, yeah.
which
yeah.
was easy. Easy peasy.
So now you're doing fashion
Yes.
for The Guardian?
Yeah. Well, I went freelance last year.
Okay.
So I do like 2 days a week at the Guardian, and then the rest of the time I kind of work with artists or
Cool.
just do what I want. Sometimes I just sleep and watch Netflix.
Nice. That is the dream. I feel like a lot of people in the creative industries
Yeah.
ideally want to freelance.
Yeah.
But still be associated with the big brands. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
you kind
a
of guarantee an income
Yeah.
kind of thing. So where can people kind of find the work you do? Are you on the social media? Are you
Yeah.
clout chasing?
I actually get in trouble often because I don't ever post on social media. But
Okay.
you can go on my Instagram. It is quite
Yeah.
fun. It's mainly me and my work. It's
Okay.
Bemi Shaw. I have a website which I never update, which need to start updating.
Nice.
But that has my work on it too.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like that's just how
When you say your work specifically, what work is this?
work. Mainly my styling. I don't
Okay,
ever
cool.
put my writing anywhere, weirdly enough. But I put all my styling's online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you offer styling to, say, someone like myself?
If you wanted
Who
it,
needs advice?
I feel like you're fine. I feel like you've definitely got your identity down.
Okay.
Now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you so much for doing this. It's really great to have you on. Like I said, from a long time, I've always acknowledged that Bemi's cool. Dad knows your mom and likes your mom, and that's a good sign as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and I'll definitely
Thank
keep
you.
tabs on how you get on.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. This is a great show, and
Oh,
I really think
Thank you
it's
so much.
going to be great. I want to see the next people that you have on this. I think it's going to be hilarious.
Oh yeah, I've got some big plans. Hopefully,
nice,
yeah.
nice, exciting.
Thank you so much.
Bye.